The FDA's given the green light for updated COVID vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna designed to better protect against current variants of the virus. The shots will be available soon, but not everybody should get them right away.
The FDA says you are eligible for the updated vaccines at least 2 months after having your last shot. And if you recently tested positive for the virus, the CDC says you may want to wait 3 months after having COVID to get these updated vaccines.
That's ABC's Alex Stone reporting. Pickleball is getting in the way of a Massachusetts home sale.
The pickleball craze has taken communities by storm. The back-and-forth volley is folly for those who love to play. But in the game of real estate, this sport is getting slammed as a spoiler. Judith Ann Rowan-Camus says her home near Sagamore Beach is off the market after 8 months and no sale. It was priced at just under $1 million. But she says buyers balked at the noise from pickleball courts next door. Her attorney is pushing for the club to move the courts. But if efforts don't work to quiet the paddles, it could lead to a different court and the sound of a gavel. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
It's happened for a second time. Giant panda Meng Meng has given birth to twins at a zoo in Berlin. We still don't know for sure what their sex are. The tiny offspring weigh just 5 and 6 ounces each and are only 5 inches long. But zoo officials say they're doing fine. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Don't let spring allergies make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution trusted by over 4 million people, Navage. Only Navage uses suction to flush out your sinuses using refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at your local Sam's Club in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Sam's Club today. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Breathe easy.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
I'm Bill Walter, KVNU News. The news is brought to you by Canyon Landscaping. The town of Paradise is celebrating their Trout and Berry Days through tomorrow with tournaments, a rodeo, and a whole bunch of events. Most activities are being held at the Paradise Town Square. The Porcupine Roundup Rodeo is being held at the Paradise Arena at 9600 South 100 East tonight starting at 7. Tickets for that cost $5 per person. 11 and under get in free. Alyssa Peterson, Paradise City Clerk, said this is the first ever and hopefully soon to be famous Paradise Rodeo. The $5 admission is being used to help fund additional rodeos. The bulk of the celebration will be held Saturday, starting with the Karen Weeks Memorial 5K Run and Walk at 7 a.m. Participants can register online. The Paradise Volunteer Fire Department Breakfast Fundraiser, also beginning at 7 a.m. and going till 10 a.m. The cost is $9 for adults, $7 for kids. Money raised will go for training firefighters. People can set up lawn chairs and blankets along 100 West or 400 West for the Paradise Parade. That begins at 10:30 tomorrow morning. And then the annual trout dinner with the berry tart from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. in Paradise. Logan Mayor Holly Danes was back for Speak to the Mayor on Wednesday during KVNU's For the People program. The mayor agreed that some of these huge apartment complexes, such as Mill Creek across from Logan High School, have turned out well and not distracted from downtown Logan.
And the exciting thing is that they are recycling so much of that concrete. Exactly. And as we've talked about before, we need a variety of housing options. It makes sense to densify in downtown where there are services where people can walk. And that's, of course, not the only kind of housing that we have approved in Logan. You know, we have a lot of single-family homes going in. We have townhomes. We have, of course, certainly some multifamily. And hopefully with that combination, we can start to provide enough supply that then prices start to come down.
That's the goal, right?
With some more affordable housing.
One report said that the average home price in 6 cities in Utah is $1 million. The mayor also talked about progress being made at the old Cache Valley Mall property.
And the exciting thing is that they are recycling so much of that concrete material.
Oh, really?
So again, we knew a lot of it would come to the landfill, and that, takes up space. That's part of the process. But they have done such a great job of recycling the concrete on site, and they will be using a lot of that material, reusing it to create new infrastructure, new parking, those sorts of things, that it's it's really a great, I think they've done a great job at trying to utilize that material in a good way.
Danes also gave a shout out to lifeguards at the Logan Aquatic Center.
Our parks director sent me a text last week, well, actually the week before I was gone last week, that he'd received. And I'm just going to read this out loud. Huge shout out to the lifeguards here. I was in the larger pool when suddenly the teenage guard dove into the water and pulled out a submerged 2-year-old all by himself.
Wow.
Within 30 seconds, a backup guard was covering his position while he tenderly carried the scared girl to other female lifeguards that held her and comforted her until her mom could come.
The statement went on to say that they were swift, professional, and compassionate. Now, Dane said most of these lifeguards are 15 to 17 years old, and often it's their first job, and they are trained extensively for this job. The mayor said she went down there and spoke with some of the lifeguards who told her incidents like these happen a couple times a week during the summer. Dane said they are doing an amazing job. A woman was arrested for leading police on a high-speed car chase in Utah County, later booked on 32 various charges. 37-year-old Danielle DeLoss was driving southbound on I-15 in Utah County when police suspected she was driving drunk. While police with the Utah County Sheriff's Office tried to conduct a traffic stop, DeLoss reportedly kept driving without any attempt to pull over. The patrol car pulled up next to DeLoss's car, and the officer in the passenger seat motioned for DeLoss to pull over. It was reported that she made eye contact with the officer and just kept driving. After attempting a slowdown maneuver by pulling the patrol car in front of the vehicle, court documents said DeLoss sped up her car and tried to ram the passenger side of the patrol car. The suspect eventually sped up to 112 miles per hour, weaving in and out of traffic. A trooper with Utah Highway Patrol managed to spike DeLoss's car, and she stopped about 3/4 of a mile after being spiked, and she was removed from the car at gunpoint. KBNU weather brought to you by Bell Medical. Get up to 18 months interest-free financing. Call Bell Medical in Bountiful, 801-355-5388, or go to bellmedical.com. We do have a threat of showers and some thunderstorms tonight. Overnight low around 60, and then storms are gone. Sunny around 83 on Saturday. Get more news at cachevalleydaily.com.
Your landscape should be a place to relax, entertain, and spend family time. Canyon Landscaping designs and installs livable landscapes that define space in new or existing yards. Hardscapes with retaining walls, paver and stone patios, and walkways. Each create privacy, interest, and purpose. Plus fire pits and sitting walls to add value to any yard. Go to canyonlandscaping.com for more details. Then call to schedule your free consultation. Call 752-3838 or go to canyonlandscaping.com. Canyon Landscaping. Look for the leaf.
News and current events. News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Locker 42 is always ready for game day. This Aggie season kicks off with a cow helmet game. Yes, that's right, a cow helmet game. Get your matching Aggie Cow t-shirt, available now at Locker 42. It's bound to be an instant classic. Locker 42 always features a big selection of Aggie apparel and a wall of Aggie hat choices. Be ready for game day. Find your Aggie Cow t-shirt and other assorted Aggie wear at Locker 42, where true Aggies shop.
This is Jay with Daryl's Appliance. We have some great Labor Day specials, including up to 40% off a wide selection of top-of-the-line appliances. Your favorite brands, including Whirlpool, Maytag, GE, KitchenAid, and more. On top of these massive discounts, we're throwing in exclusive rebates to make your savings even sweeter. It's a double whammy of value. Hurry in and celebrate Labor Day with fantastic savings for a limited time. Service always comes first at Daryl's, west on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People Movie Show with Andy Morgan of Andy. That was such a throwback moment there.
It is. There is Andy.
It used to be andyatthemovies.com was how I followed your name, and you decided to move away from that branding. And
it's still there.
I don't know why that just almost came out.
It's still there.
The site still exists.
I can't believe I just said we. Me and my team were thinking about launching. No, I created another website so we could talk about. I could talk about other things than just movies.
You wanted to expand into kind of media at large.
If people go there now, they'll be like, "Is this a wasteland, a ghost town?" And I'd be like, "Yes, it is."
My business site looks like that too.
But the plan is to go to.
I work in tech, quote unquote, and I haven't updated my business site since 2011.
You know,
if anyone ever finds it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing."
There's a lot of. It's not always that easy, you know, and there's a lot of things that happen. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. But let me say this.
I have relatives who they don't anymore, but they used to do upholstery.
Okay.
But you'd get in their car, go to their house, and their furniture and their car seats were just trashed. Like, don't you know how to you fix this professionally, right? You recover stuff. It's not fun. And I was hearing the same thing. It's never fun to do your own stuff.
Yep.
Because no one's paying you.
Nope, that's 100% true. 100% true. I was gonna say. I've been so excited
about the Acolyte getting canceled.
No, I actually, honestly, way to go, incels. Way to go. You score one for you.
What a strange flex. You know?
So look, here's the thing though. We
got canceled a thing we could have just not watched.
I still believe that this is.
Although I have to admit, I didn't make it past episode 3.
I believe
that one didn't grab me.
I believe we're still in a social media kind of bubble type thing where I don't think it's reality. Do you know what I mean? Just because you have a flock of, angry little gamer boys, flocking to Rotten Tomatoes and who are, pounding the negative button. We're like on a YouTube video. Like, remember when Ridley Scott, who, by the way, the other day said that Gladiator 2 is his best movie he's ever made.
That's so sad, Ridley.
Now we're all like, oh,
Ridley.
Why you made us now? We're so scared.
Everyone knows it's White Squall. With that kid from Party of Five.
I'm telling you right now, like, I don't really know. Anyway, but that was like one of the most hated trailers in the history of trailers on YouTube because. A bunch of people were like, "Hey, why is there rap music on?" No. That was the thing. It had so many downvotes because of the music. Because of the music.
Yeah.
And so my point is
music can ruin a trailer or a movie. Remember though, so people, this is a deep cut reference, and you can go find it. But there's a single track on I don't even remember how to pronounce the composer's name. Ennio Morricone. I think is how you say it.
Ennio Morricone.
Ennio Morricone. That's right. There's a C
really
in there.
just.
He did a soundtrack for a movie with the guy that played creepy green guy in Spider-Man. See, I don't know.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe was in a movie called The Mission back in the 80s. It's not a great movie.
He was in that?
Yeah, he's the guy.
Isn't Robert De Niro in that?
No, maybe it's Robert De Niro. No, I think it's Willem Dafoe. I'll Google it.
Well,
but Morricone,
you talk. I'll Google.
Morricone did the soundtrack, and there's a song in the soundtrack that has.
Did it go bing, bing, bong, bing?
It was sort of like that, yeah. No, it was sort of. It was a play on Ave Maria, and anyway, it was a really popular thing, and everyone who put out a movie from like 88 to 94 used that song. It
is Robert De Niro, by the way.
It's Robert De Niro.
Jeremy Irons and
thing.
Liam Neeson.
I can never tell the two apart.
You're 100% right.
Willem and Robert.
Remember in Inception when Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer they debuted the "wong" like that sound.
That sound.
Yeah. Or then what was the movie?
Then George Lucas is like, that's what's going to happen when things blow up in the prequels.
No, what was the movie? I want to know it. There was a time for a movie trailer. This is probably a decade or more ago, where somebody was like, "Hey, what if we take like a classic children's song or, something like The Birds, like some kind of classic 60s song everybody knows, and let's sing it creepy for a horror movie, right? And then everyone's like, you know what? We should do that same thing all the time for a decade.
That's
right.
Well, and that's what happens. You get this. But, the point is they know the music. Here's another one. This is, I have to skip, I think. No? So this was in a million trailers too. Like 2010-ish to 20. Every trailer that came out had this. This is from the Sunshine soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, is one of the best sci-fi movies ever made, and no one's
It is.
seen it.
And actually, you know what? That's actually a really great crossover because I want to tell you what I did. You know how much I love the Alien franchise. I'm sitting here wearing a Nostromo T-shirt.
Yeah, I was impressed, actually. That's also a deep cut.
It is a deep. I like Alien's my favorite. I love Aliens too. I've been watching documentaries. I've rewatched all the Alien movies. And Jason, just for you, and our listeners,
have you ranked them? Because I've always thought about doing this.
I do have a rank, but I also watched I don't really technically count the. I don't technically count the Predator and Alien movies as Alien movies, but I watched those. I watched both, and I also watched a few other kind of deep cut, like deep space, gritty sci-fi shows to see if they still held up. Some of them, which are on my showcase of shame. So I'm glad you pulled out Sunshine because
that's my number one.
No, it's fantastic.
For me, it's Sunshine, the first Alien, Galaxy Quest, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Can you tell? I've actually
you're
thought
talking
about
just
this.
sci-fi in general.
Yeah, just sci-fi. That's my.
I love deep space thing. In fact, when I went and saw Alien Romulus, I've seen it twice. I saw it once in IMAX, which, by the way,
how is that?
It's like sitting courtside at the NBA game.
I've heard this is one you want to see in IMAX.
I just any movie in IMAX. When I sit, when you go sit courtside at an NBA game, and you're like, whoa, okay. This is nice. And then you go back up into the, steerage or whatever, where the tickets are $16. And then you're like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
So
I saw E.T. in IMAX when they had that anniversary re-release.
Okay.
And that opening scene where E.T.'s running through the bush. You haven't seen E.T. yet.
Yeah.
He's running through the bushes making that kind of creepy horror movie scream. And I remember as a kid, that horrified me. But seeing that in IMAX was a little, it was very immersive. That opening scene.
The only thing I saw it in the, when I say this next part, you'll go, Andy, that makes sense. I saw it in the West Valley City Mall. Why does West Valley City have a IMAX theater and we don't? Cache Valley, CC, the Megaplex folks.
I'm surprised there's at least not one in Ogden because the closest is Farmington, right?
Is there not one? I don't think there is one in IMAX. The closest one is Centerville.
Oh, that's right. It's the exit,
Legacy Crossing.
It's the exit past Farmington.
Yeah. Okay. But here's what I would say. Is, I mean, it's great, but I saw Alien Romulus there, and the center channel speaker was so messed up, so I barely heard the dialogue.
Ooh. But
it looked great. And then when I came, when I saw it up here in the Megaplex up here, it was great sound. I finally understood the dialogue, but I was like, hey, you guys gotta it's too dark,
tiny.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The Megaplex theaters up here, for those that were not around during the West States years. They're so much they're markedly improved. It's so much better. But there are things that I'm just going to say the Megaplex has to do to take these theaters to the next step. Yeah. One is get some of those Coca-Cola magic machines.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Get some vending machines. That'll free up your lobby. When they have one person working and there's a line, I can help the next guest. That's not great.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The second thing I would say is they've
working ticket kiosks.
I don't know who they hired
to build that software.
Neither do I. I haven't had too much a problem with those, but
the only thing worse than a Megaplex ticket kiosk, if you haven't purchased, it's great if you've purchased online.
Yeah.
And just need to, walk in with the QR code. But if you come in late, I've met some family before and I have time. I came in, tried to buy it at the kiosk. And the only thing that functions worse than that is a Maverick gas station pump. I think the same guy coded the software for both of those machines.
You're like, let's see, I'm gonna put my American Express in here. Sorry, your payment's not valid. So take out your card quickly. I mean, it took me 1.3 nanoseconds, and you still didn't. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
His resume is Maverick gas station pumps, Megaplex ticket kiosk, and Microsoft Teams.
His next
hire me.
His next job interviewer was going to be like, okay, well, there's some potential, I suppose. No, but what I was going to say was the other thing is like, a lot of these new Megaplex theaters, they've laid down kind of like hardwood instead of carpet, which I have to think is better for maintenance. They also, I mean, almost every seat in theaters outside of Cache Valley is a luxury seat. They don't recline necessarily, but just like you feel like you're sitting in something.
Seat.
Yeah, more space.
Something you'd have at your house.
The other thing is, whoever came up with the idea where they were like, you know what, let's put more luxury seats here. We'll take out all our seats for the disabled.
Yeah,
for people in wheelchairs, and we'll put some recliners here. And then what they did is in back of it, in order to do that, if you sit on the front row behind those recliners, you can't move your feet. Like I'm serious. Like somebody needs to take a picture of that and send that to I don't know.
You can't even cross your legs.
The OSHA. I don't know whose thing that is, because when you look at that, I'm like, what if there was a fire or some type of emergency?
Yeah.
Like I'm not even kidding. Like it is not safe.
You can get blood clots sitting that still for 2 hours, and
not safe. It's not. It's just. It's really. It's really bad. But
I want to see him do along these same lines.
Burn the theater down and start again.
I want to see. So yeah, one of the two in the Valley, I think, could use a rebuild from ground up.
Tear down Movies 5. Do that. Whatever that is now.
It's like an event place for like the 2 groups a year. But I want to see him lose the gimmicky stuff. And here's so I have a funny story to set this up.
What do you mean when you say gimmicky stuff?
D-Box.
Oh, I hear you.
And things like that. So I actually saw a movie. I think it was the second Spider-Man movie, Far From Home or something.
Okay.
I saw that in D-Box, and it
sounds like a terrible rapper name.
Yeah. Or like.
Hey, did you guys see D-Box performed at the DNC?
A coworker you don't
like.
No,
you're getting that wrong. He did it. He did the RNC.
No, it's really distracting. Like, I didn't enjoy the experience at all. So maybe I'm biased on this. Maybe there are people out there that, I love it when I love when my butt vibrates when things explode on the screen. But it's really distracting. It's gimmicky. It doesn't enhance the movie-going experience. But until I I met a friend. I hadn't seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet. I was the only person on the planet that liked the first 2 movies who hadn't seen it yet. So I finally got in there this week to see it ahead of today's show. And I bought, so I was the ticket purchaser because it was my idea to go. And so I bought 2 tickets, one for me, one for a friend. And I just bought them on the row I like to sit on, which is the front row. I didn't realize that the front row in this theater was the first row behind the D-Box seats.
Oh.
No one else.
This had to be the university, right?
Yeah. And these are the only 2 seats purchased in the theater for this screening when I bought these. No other tickets have been sold. 2 guys bought the 2 D-Box seats right in front of the 2 that I bought. And so through this entire movie, listeners won't be able to preach this, but because if you've ever sat in D-Box, the seats vibrate, but then they also move just a little bit.
Felt like you brought your chiropractor with you?
No, so you've got the silhouettes of the heads in front of you, but imagine them going like this through the whole movie, back and forth and back and forth. And I'm trying not to laugh because they look so silly.
And if somebody turns on their phone,
you look like you're on the lamest lagoon ride in the world. Like the roller coaster the kids won't even get on.
That's funny.
But no, seriously, I think that
why does it happen? Let me ask you a
like
question.
D-Box are gimmicky, and that theaters should use their resources elsewhere.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Why is it that when you go to a theater and you think, you know what, no one's sitting by me, This is going to be my seat. I'm so excited. There's hardly anybody here.
I'm about to take it right behind that guy.
This happened to me, speaking of Alien, when I went and saw
it's happened to me
Prometheus.
more than
When I
once.
saw Prometheus, and we were so excited because we were like, hey, this is right after Megaplex came in. They'd already made some improvements, and one of the first ones they did was, hey, buy your seat. You know, where you want.
I think that's the greatest advance.
Right. It is.
In theater going ever.
It was me and two other guys.
Assigned seating.
We bought a ticket, and we were sitting three right in the middle. Because the guy I was with was like, the best place to sit is in the middle. That's where you want the best viewing. And I'm always like, all right, whatever. So anyway, we're sitting in the middle, and we're the only people.
Center of the aisle. I don't care about that.
Only people in this matinee. This is at the university. Only people. Only people. I'm like, okay, this is going to be great. In comes Jerry Garcia, but like morbidly obese. And he sits down, and he's right in front of me, the whole theater. And I don't really care, right? Because, I can see he doesn't have his phone on. He's not like a jerk. But this guy, like, literally had not bathed. Either that or he was, like, owned, like, an onion farm. Like, one of the two. I'm thinking he didn't bathe because it was, like, kind of like litter box, like, melded with onions.
Sat right behind you.
Yeah.
You bet the restaurant they had the blue cheese stinky burger.
The top note was onion. The mid note was cat urine, and the base note was fresh manure.
Did you say gat urine? Cat urine. Okay.
No, but if I was in middle school, I'd say gat. I'd say this
surprised
guy
at the
was
reference.
Skibbity Ohio toilet. But anyhow, in just the whole show, every time he moved his chair, I was like, like I'm not even exaggering. Like I was like, like I'm seriously dry heaving. It's this guy, and in my mind, it's like you never see.
Why did you buy that seat?
That I was like.
You saw
what
someone
magnetized you? What magnetized you to me? But then also,
sit right behind those
just
people.
like in the girl with the dragon tattoo at the end, when the guy's like, "You knew I was the killer, and I invited you in for a drink. Why did you come in? Why did I stay there?" That's the other question. In a sea of, you know what it is? It's because rules. You're like, this is my seat.
Well, and that's sometimes. So there's a flip side of that too, where the rule following can be. I've told this story before. It still makes me laugh. I'm going to tell it again. But when so I'm single-handedly probably the reason MoviePass went bankrupt, because I called everybody. Like, I can see Thor for free. You want to go? I saw
like, Jason, you already saw Thor, and you're like, well, that's okay. Everyone can think I'm going to see this.
I saw the third Thor movie. Because I was in between contracts. I had my mornings free.
But remember too, they would like,
and I just
you could
thought
see
it was
whatever.
fun. Yeah, and so I just went to movies like every morning for.
They mentioned you in the documentary
that July. I bankrupted MoviePass.
They were like, we don't know this guy, but William something or other.
So it had gotten to the point where I was seeing the third Thor movie with my mom, who's not exactly a huge Marvel fan, but she likes movies, so she went. But we bought I bought tickets somewhere near the front. When we got there, the air conditioner was like on full blast.
Oh yeah,
and it was a little cool for her. And so we moved back to like the third, second to last row in the top of the theater. There was no one else in the theater. It was just she and I, because it was like 10 a.m. on a Tuesday in July. And so the movie's been playing for about...
Which makes sense. They'd have the air conditioner queued up.
Yeah, that's right. Getting it warm for the afternoon, warming it up for the afternoon. So we're sitting in the theater, and 2 or 3 minutes into the movie, just barely past the opening credits, this couple walks in. A man and a woman. I don't know if they were a couple. They walk in, and they stand at the bottom for a second. They're looking up, and they're looking at the tickets in their hands, and I'm like, part of me's already thinking, look, there's no one in here. Sit where you want.
Don't do it.
They come up the stairs, and they come all the way to our row. And I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. Now, we're not in our original seats at this point. We moved because there was no one else in the theater, and that air conditioning was blowing straight down on that front row. And they walk over, and they're counting seats. No one else in the theater. They walk over to my mom and I, and the lady very nicely says, I'm sorry, you're in our seats. And part of me wanted to say, you have got to be kidding. But I knew we were in the wrong. So we moved down a few rows.
That's nice.
But wouldn't you just sit down?
That always happens
somewhere
to me.
else?
I'm always.
I mean, I guess unless those are always your seats, and you don't like to sit.
It's
anywhere
rules.
else, but
it's rules, Jason.
But we were in the wrong, so we moved.
That's funny.
But no, I do. The reserve seating made theater going a lot more pleasant.
Right?
You and I are both of the age when you remember waiting in line to get the ticket.
Oh my gosh! And then you're like, "Hey, can we just have one extra person? Can we just,
remember those Star Wars, the re-release with the extra footage?
Yeah,
George Lucas took out all the cool stuff.
Oh my gosh!
So I remember waiting in line for that at the Old Man Theater. It was still a thing. Waiting in line for that. The line went all the way over to
across from Fred Meyer. Or Man Theater.
The Man Theater.
I thought you said the Main.
Well, I think
because remember the Main. No, you're right. It was at the Man Theater.
I think it had turned into the Cine something by then. But
it was the Cinemark.
Cinemark. But so I remember the line for tickets went back to not the east door of JCPenney, the west, around the building on the other side. And so then you waited in that line, you got your ticket, and then you had to go elbow nice old women and fight your way up so that you didn't get that one seat back in the corner.
We saw Batman and Robin.
It was a war zone.
Oh, it was terrible. I remember one time we saw Batman and Robin, the George Clooney one, and it was me and my wife and my sister-in-law and her 2 kids. And we had waited in line, and we finally got in, and we got into the theater, and there were so many people, and the movie had started a little bit, and there were so many people that were just scattered, and no one would be accommodating. So we sat on the front row,
1 seat apart,
with a kid on each of our laps. It was really unpleasant.
So all this is to say, for our criticism of movie theaters, the reserve seating thing, great idea. Air conditioning a bit too aggressive sometimes.
I also think
not.
The other thing, the Megaplex. I should probably just send them an email. The other thing they need is
can you sign it? Don't you know who I am?
Sign it, dear love movie boy. No, they need to also. They have lights for safety in there, right? That they turn down after the trailers.
Sometimes not enough.
But the way they're positioned and whoever designed them, they light up eye level.
Yeah.
So even though the theater, when you look up, is dark, when you look down, you're like, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
It's really
the Megaplex in.
It just shows you how cheap the West States people were. And again, it's hard. Have you been to the West States theaters that are now Megaplex theaters in St. George?
Yeah.
They've tried the same thing. Like they've done
similar,
better. But you walk in there and you're like, am I in Logan?
Yeah.
Like, where am I, right?
Meanwhile, the newer ones, like the one at the Gateway, is probably the nicest Megaplex in northern Utah.
Yeah, Legacy.
Legacy's pretty good.
Yeah, even the Junction.
Except at the Gateway, so the Gateway Megaplex has that airport runway lighting on the stairs.
Yeah.
But the one down below me, right in my eyes, was flickering. Like the LED was about to go out or something, and so it was just through the whole movie. And,
you know the most dangerous theater?
I lost track of time. We have to go to the news. But
tell
us what the dangerous theater is first.
There is a Cinemark
you
theater.
Can't leave people hanging on that one.
There's a Cinemark theater. I want to say like on 33rd or 32nd South. Yeah, it's the Cinemark Century 16, I think. 33rd South in Salt Lake. And they've got this weird gap in the stairs. And when they have screenings for the press there, like with the press take up like probably 2 or 3 rows. And then
caution.
And then the rest is promo. And I would just sit there and I would just count the number of people that they walk and go, whoop, oh. And you're like
popcorn and drink on the floor.
I feel so bad. Like it's like I don't
I thought you were gonna pull out one from
By the way, your Deadpool and Wolverine moving up the track.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Some money.
Well, it's $556 million right now, and if you told somebody that, they'd go, "Dang, that's got to be like what in the top 5?" No, it's actually number 17.
It's not even close to the top 10, but that's a lot of money and
highest R-rated movie.
My review, by the way, is really short. If you like the first 2, go see this one. And best use ever of Madonna's "Like a Prayer." We'll be back with more of the For the People movie show and Andy's review of Alien Romulus, what's coming to theaters as summer movie season winds down, but not really. After this, look at the news with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KBNU News brought to you by Logan Extermination. The man accused of faking his own death and leaving the country to avoid rape charges appeared in a Utah courtroom for a preliminary hearing. Nicholas Rossi appeared in person at the Matheson 3rd District Courthouse in Salt Lake City on Thursday. The hearing was held to discuss the use of a witness statement in his upcoming trial for rape of his former girlfriend in Orem in 2008. The statement in question accused Rossi of sexual assault. Prosecutors rested their case after Rossi's attorney specified Rossi's identity in the case and in the document with the witness statement. Judge Barry Lawrence admitted the document into the case, saying the state gave enough evidence for it to be used at trial. Rossi was scheduled back in court for an arraignment and bail hearing on October 17th. In March 2020, a statement claiming to be from family members said Nicholas Alaverdian, Rossi's legal name, had died after a battle with non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Rossi was accused of fleeing to the United Kingdom to escape the Utah charge and other domestic violence complaints in Rhode Island. He was arrested at a Glasgow, Scotland hospital in December 2021, where he was being treated for COVID-19. During multiple court appearances, he claimed he was an Irish orphan named Arthur Knight and that he had never been to the United States. In August 2023, a Scottish judge ruled Rossi could be extradited to the U.S. And southern Idaho's Bruneau Dunes State Park has recently earned an International Dark Sky Park designation, highlighting its commitment to preserving night skies. The recognition granted in June comes after nearly a decade of dedicated efforts by park staff to reduce light pollution and promote stargazing. The park, located between Boise and Twin Falls, is known for its towering dunes and diverse habitats, but now also recognized for its pristine night skies. The journey to becoming a dark sky park began in 2015 when the park started replacing outdoor light fixtures with dark sky compliant alternatives. Staff installed red bulbs and covered other lights with red lenses to minimize light pollution. KBNU weather brought to you by Canyon Landscaping, creating livable landscapes for your new or existing yard, fire pits, stone patios, and walls, and more. Call Canyon Landscaping at 752-3838. Chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight before 9 p.m. Slight chance of showers late tonight, low around 60. Sunny tomorrow, high in the low 80s, around 83. Sunny and 72 on Sunday. Get more news at CashValleyDaily.com.
ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. A suspect is on the run after a deadly knife attack in Germany.
Multiple victims in a stabbing attack in the city of Solingen in the west of Germany. This was at a festival just before 10 p.m. A man with a knife went on this rampage, attacking people at random. The police tell us he has killed 3 people. 4 others remain seriously injured. Emergency workers are on the scene as we speak. Victims are being resuscitated.
ABC's James Longman at the Foreign Desk. CENTCOM has confirmed a U.S. airstrike in Syria killed a senior leader of Haras al-Din, a group affiliated with al-Qaeda, and planned attacks against the U.S. and its allies. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will appear tonight with former President Trump at a rally in Arizona. The independent candidate suspended his campaign today. A New York judge has denied Steve Bannon's motion to dismiss criminal charges of alleged fundraising fraud. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says it's time to cut interest rates. This is ABC News.
If you are like most local residents, you have a huge influx of creepy crawlers invading your home. Right now, that nasty elm seed beetle is all over northern Utah. We have a solution for you. Call Logan Extermination today for a full exterior spray. Their full exterior spray includes foundation and eaves and will kill those nasty spiders, wasps, box elder bugs, and the new nuisance, elm seed beetles. Call Logan Extermination today for details. 752-8450.
Treatment areas vary. Call for a quote today.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
Hi everyone, it's Congressman Blakemore here. As I've listened to your concerns during my town halls and meetings throughout the district, one thing is clear. Utahns are concerned about border security. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the Biden administration's policies have allowed nearly 10 million encounters nationwide, including over 8 million at the southern border, more than ever before in American history. Record amounts of fentanyl have come through our borders and led to heartbreaking outcomes for families who have lost loved ones to overdoses. For the sake of our community's safety and national security, something must change. This is why House Republicans swiftly passed the Secure the Border Act to strengthen our southern border with new technologies, increase the number of Border Patrol agents, end catch and release, and require transparency from the Department of Homeland Security. I will keep fighting to make 1st District communities safer, and I encourage you to sign up for my weekly e-newsletter and follow me on social media at Rep. Blake Moore to stay updated on my efforts. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
This is Dr. Red, chiropractic physician with Red River Health and Wellness. Are you suffering with fatigue, brain fog, headaches, intestinal issues, weight gain, and you haven't been able to find any answers?
Before I started at Red River, I was having a lot of stomach pain. I was overweight, severe anxiety, some depression. I had been to multiple doctors. I'd been to specialists. We had done tests, and no one could find anything that was wrong.
Red River Health and Wellness can help you.
I'm on anxiety medicine. I've lowered my dose, and I'm working with my doctor to continue to lower it. I'm sleeping through the night. I have energy for my kids. I've lost 30 pounds. I just feel really good.
Our goal is to teach you and educate you so you know how to manage your condition a lot more effectively, and you know what to do and what not to do for the rest of your life.
Schedule your appointment today at 855-55-RIVER. Red River Health and Wellness with offices in Logan, South Jordan, Springville, and St. George.
Call Red River today.
Have you experienced an increase in your insurance premiums? We know it can be both frustrating and confusing. This is Matt Robbins with Quality First Insurance, an Alera Group company. Insurance rates will always be increasing. As an auto owner's independent agency, we strive to stabilize the rate increases by quoting multiple carriers to give you multiple options. Give us a call today to discuss your rates and get the best price. 435-752-0101.
This is Cache County Fire Chief Rod Hammer. Due to current and predicted weather conditions coupled with extremely dry vegetation in northern Utah, the state forester has determined that measures must be taken to prevent the ignition of forest and rangeland fires. The following acts are prohibited in unincorporated private and state lands. First, no open fires of any kind except within established public facilities, in improved campgrounds, picnic areas, or in permanently constructed fire pits at private homes where running water is present. Second, no smoking except within an enclosed vehicle, trailer, or building, a developed recreation site, or while stopped in an area that is paved or free from dry vegetation. Third, no discharging or using any fireworks, tracer ammunition, or other pyrotechnic devices, including exploding targets. Fourth, no cutting, welding, or grinding metal in areas of dry vegetation. And fifth, no operating a motorcycle, chainsaw, ATV, or other small internal combustion engine without an approved and working spark arrestor. Please help us by doing your part to prevent costly and dangerous wildfires.
Welcome back to the For the People Movie Show with Andy Morgan. And we have movie reviews. We kind of got distracted there for the majority of the show, but
that's actually what this show's official name is. We've told people this multiple times. Welcome to Tangent Town.
Tangent Town.
And that's why everybody shows up. They're like, let's hear Andy and Jason.
To break in once in a while and say, yes, it's still the movie
Let's
show.
just hear these guys. I want to hear these guys. They're so funny and silly.
It's a relevant tangent,
People, they send me these texts all the time. It's usually just my mom. But, I think it's still fair. Still fair. Hey, really quick. So let's talk about this.
It's a relevant tangent because we're talking about the movie-going experience.
Yeah.
And what the theaters are doing well and not.
It's really interesting. So. I was watching. I watched the trends on social media, and I did an experiment. After watching Alien Romulus. I went and saw it. I told you I love Alien. Before I talk about Alien Romulus, let me just say this. I'm not going to rank Alien Romulus just yet. I'll show you where it fits. But before Alien Romulus, my order, and after rewatching him again,
I'm just excited.
Not including Alien Romulus yet.
I'm excited for you to even say it fits because when I saw the trailer for this the first time, I thought this was in the Predator and Alien category, or that one with Winona Ryder.
So what
was that, 4?
That's Alien Resurrection.
I don't. Those are the let's not talk about it movies.
That is so bad, and there's some people that love it, and you know what? If you can find things to love and you can sit and and talk about it and defend it, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I defend Freddy versus Jason, and I will till the day I die.
That's fantastic.
I actually have an argument that it's one of the greatest movies ever made, but it takes a long time to make the case, so I won't try.
There's too much goofy in Alien Resurrection for me to really. It's the very bottom. And let me tell you something.
Mine is just Ron Perlman.
Now, but that's part of it.
I can't with him.
It's part of it. So my list starts with Alien, Aliens, the second Alien movie in 1986. That's number 2. Number 3, people argue with me all the time with this.
Oh, I love
number 3 to me is Alien 3. I know those are in order, but David Fincher got a raw deal.
Yeah, and that's especially the director's cut with those 2 little scenes put back in. That is an excellent movie.
That was
it's dark.
Such a hard production, and he was a first-time director. I'm not making an excuse for him. No. But like what came out of that was actually pretty great.
Yeah.
So I put that one there. I think it's got a great premise, a prison planet, with a prison full of rapists and you're the only woman.
Yeah.
And just really cool.
Well, and the ending. The ending seems to be what most people hate. I loved it. I thought it was because remember at the time, this is the end of a trilogy. Everybody's thinking this is like Star Wars. This is the last movie in a trilogy. And
never is.
That was a perfect ending. And then they're like, Winona Ryder is not busy after Beetlejuice. What can we put her in?
Then I would say, after that, I have these kind of flip-flopped. I have Alien Covenant and then Prometheus. And the reason for that is I know a lot of people don't like these because they think it's weird with David the android and just like these engineers and what does this all mean? Yeah. For me, as a deep sci-fi lover, a lover of the alien lore and how this all just kind of fits together, I think it's great. I love it. And then
Ridley Scott himself said these movies are a different, same universe, same aliens in a way, but this is a whole different thing. And so you can think of them as prequels if you want. This was his kind of exact.
You got to think of it as a different movie. If you go in expecting Alien, you're going to be disappointed. Even though I still went in expecting a little bit of Alien, was excited. And then after that, I would do, I can't believe I'm going to say this, Alien versus Predator.
Really?
Alien versus Predator Requiem. And then
I like that one too, actually.
And then I would put it, that is so mid-2000s. Like if somebody was like, hey, I need a movie to go along with my, old Abercrombie clothes and American Eagle, I'd be like, oh, just jump in and watch Alien versus Predator Requiem. It could be an actual advertisement. And then the last one is Alien Resurrection. Now, going back to Romulus on a timeline-wise is actually set between the events of Alien and Aliens.
Oh,
it's
wow,
actually,
really?
It's about 20 years
that explains
prior
some of the production value you see in the trailer.
Yeah, and there's some things about this movie that are so great. So, number one, this is immediately number 3 on my list. It bumps Alien 3 down a notch. Now, here's the thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't say number 3 because it's not very good. It's great. It's just great. The director, Fede Alvarez, who has done Evil Dead and Don't Breathe.
Don't Breathe was good.
He actually did Girl in the Spider's Web as well.
Okay.
Which I thought they filmed this movie sequentially from start to finish.
That's what intrigues me.
It's a nice mesh of CGI and practical effects. Most of the
we should point out this is different than the continuous filming that.
No, not a single shot.
Yeah,
they just
but
when they did a screenplay,
the scenes as they're playing out chronologically.
Like here's an example. I think like in Game of Thrones season 4, there's an episode where one of the characters dies, and they filmed that scene first.
Yeah,
and then they filmed the rest of his scenes later, right? And so
because they wanted the impact.
Well, it's scheduling. It's putting people, being efficient. they were in one spot with one big set. They created these. It had a lot of impact too. The character said, because your character, somebody dies, they go home. You know what I mean? They're not sticking around.
Yeah.
And so I
think it's a cool way to film a
there's
movie
a sense
to get
of
that emotion.
Yeah, there's a sense of loss. So, but I can tell you right now, I mean, the cast is great. I think it's a really kind of cool, just sort of like, we're on this planet. There's no daylight. We're miners, not minors. O-R-E-R, as in
like hard hat with a flashlight on it. That kind of
don't want to get the black lung, Papa. That kind of miner. But with that said, they actually are younger. It is a younger crew. They want to get off the planet. And it's just kind of this like tragedy, right? Where they have this idea where they can go get these, illicit cryo sleep chambers. They head up to this old space station, and behold, that space station is not quite what you thought it was going to be. And, chaos ensues. But there's a guy in this movie that I've never seen before, a British actor named David Johnson, Jonsson. And he is fantastic. He's have
we seen him in anything
No,
else?
not really.
Okay.
I went through his filmography. I mean, this is really kind of his big first movie. He's been in some television, stage actor. He's actually a writer too. He plays, and this is no secret because they kind of lead to this in the trailer, but he is an artificial human, an android in the movie. His name is Andy. That's not why I like him the most. But he's just honestly, Jason, he is on my short list for best supporting actor.
Really?
I'll say this is kind of a tiny spoiler. At one point in the movie, they kind of put a new chip in him to try to gain some access throughout the rest of the ship. And the chip gives him some upgrades, and how he switches from kind of the demure, like almost sad-eyed Andy to this not Terminator, but you know what I mean?
More murderous?
Not even murderous, just like confident, very, quick in decisions, Anyway, and this brings back a lot of the horror element that we had in the first Aliens, less so kind of the military stuff in the second.
You can see that in the trailer.
Again, just cinematography, set design, special effects, just really, really good.
Alvarez said in an interview he talked to Ridley Scott about how they did some of the darker scenes. But so one of the things that makes cinematography of the first Alien so great is it's like a horror movie. It's like those dark, gritty 80s schlock horror movies. But Ridley Scott wanted you to actually be able to see stuff. So they did what they call spotlighting. They put, like one scene, they put a flashlight under a counter so that it lights up the cat in the pet carrier. But they want the rest of anyway, just amazing stuff like that. And Alvarez says he went and talked to Ridley Scott about that.
It is. It's having to work harder and this is nothing, this is not a shot at VFX artists.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's not, but
it's just CGI.
Like an example was back in the 1979 Alien, they didn't have the ability to, build a giant alien spacecraft.
Yeah.
And so what they ended up having to do was they had a miniature, and instead of trying to make it look bigger and have everyone go, that's not real, what they ended up doing was they just put it on a TV and played the grainy and made the footage look grainy, and it gave a sense of scale. You're looking at this and you're going, oh my gosh. And so they kind of do the same thing. It's just, there is obviously more VFX in Alien Romulus than there is in the original Alien, but they still, what I loved the actual practical effects. I loved that the face huggers were real.
The aliens are real.
Yeah, these are dudes wearing suits. It's just, I gave it a straight up A. I'd see it again. I can't wait till it comes out on 4K. I'd like to see it streaming, and it really is, if you're into that, deep space and stuff, you should, it's worth your full price ticket.
Very cool.
For sure.
I'm not what I expected after seeing the trailer. Stick around. More of the movie show to come right after this.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
For the last 27 years, we've been honored to serve our community as the highest rated home medical supplier in Utah. Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. Our commitment to exceptional customer service is at the heart of everything we do, and our team is always here to make sure you get the care and products you need. Whether it's oxygen solutions, CPAP supplies, or expert home safety advice, we do it all. As a Best in State winner for the last 14 years and highest rated on Google, Alpine Home Medical is not just a provider, we're a trusted partner in your healthcare journey. So swing by any of our 11 locations today and experience firsthand what makes Alpine Home Medical a 5-star experience. See us at alpinehomemedical.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
That's alpinehomemedical.com.
Whether it's a sports injury, joint pain, or any orthopedic concern you have, Alpine Orthopedic Specialists has always been committed to excellence for your orthopedic needs. Thank you for voting Alpine Orthopedic Specialist your gold winner in orthopedics for Best of Northern Utah 2024. The entire team of doctors and staff at Alpine Orthopedics is dedicated to you and your health and will continue to provide the highest quality treatment tailored to your needs. Now offering walk-in urgent care for orthopedic injuries. For more information on Alpine Orthopedic Specialists, visit alpineortho.com.
Hey, Cache Valley, it's Bo Peterson with Steel Coated Epoxy Floors, and we're thrilled to announce we've been voted the best in Northern Utah once again. As Cache Valley's premier coating professionals, we have the knowledge and the experience to completely transform your concrete. From garages and shops to porches and patios, we coat it all. And with fall and winter right around the corner, it's time to get your concrete protected. Contact us today at scfcachevalley.com. That's scfcachevalley.com. Steel Coated Epoxy Floors. Do it once, do it right.
Hi, John Weiss here. At Heritage Auto, we believe the key to an incredible summer is making memory adventures with the family. But no adventure is complete without a Ram vehicle to get you there. Right now, during our Make This the Summer event, you can get $2,000 total bonus cash allowance, plus no monthly payments for 90 days when you purchase a 2024 Ram Heavy Duty Tradesman Crew Cab pickup. Some restrictions apply. Visit us today at Heritage Auto, your hometown dealer with the biggest deals.
That's it for the People movie show this week. Andy Morgan will be back with us next Friday at 5 for more.